Hello, everybody, and welcome to AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station. This is the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. John, scoreboard time. The politics are going crazy.
You forgot to say your hometown station name.
I know I said that at the beginning. You weren't listening.
I wasn't paying attention. I was
Aaron.
Aaron, not Ryan.
Ryan,
really?
Aaron, whatever.
All right. It is time.
All right.
This is our newly developed, just recently developed.
Yep.
Like a couple seconds ago. Public service announcement. Today we're going to do the
delegate count.
Delegate count.
Delegate scoreboard.
How about the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John delegate scoreboard? Dun dun dun.
All right. No surprise, John. Donald Trump has a wide lead in the delegate count.
The presumptive.
81 delegates. Ted Cruz has 17.
Uh-oh.
Marco Rubio has 17.
Wow.
And John Kasich has 6.
Kasich, you mean Vice President Kasich? Just throwing that out there. All right. For the Democratic side, both Hillary and Bernie, or Billary. Billary and Bernie.
Did you just come up with that?
I just did. Both recently won 51 delegates. However, Hillary has a commanding lead of 504 to 71.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Back up. I didn't get that.
Of the 102 delegates that have been awarded, Hillary has 504 of them, and Bernie has 71.
But you just said it was 51 to 51.
It is 51 to 51 in delegates earned.
So that's from the voting.
That's from
the public voting.
Yeah, that's from the voting.
Okay. But now you're telling me she has 500 and some?
Dun, 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 dun. There's no need to fear. The super delegates are here. John, more powerful than a locomotive.
I don't understand super delegates.
Able to get people elected even if they're going to be indicted.
It seems... What's the word I'm looking for? It seems...
Stupid?
No.
Crooked.
Unethical. Crooked.
Yeah.
Not right.
You think?
Yeah.
You think?
Manipulative.
Yeah, it is.
Now, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but now it's really coming to the forefront.
Now you can see it. Now, here's some interesting news. You ready for this, Doug? Because yeah. All right. I went to Real Clear Politics. Now, what they do is they take a sampling of all the polls. Okay.
Now, is it clear?
USA. Oh, it's very clear. USA.
Because it's called
Fox
Real
News,
Clear. Okay.
CNN, everything. Okay.
It's trying to be funny.
So it wasn't funny. So I figured, let's see what happens with Hillary versus the Donald.
Okay.
Okay. Right now, Hillary would beat Donald by 2.8% of the popular vote.
Okay.
Okay. Rubio, however, would beat Hillary by 4.7% of the popular vote.
Okay.
Cruz would beat Hillary by only 0.8 of the popular vote.
Okay.
And John Kasich would beat Hillary by 7.8% of the popular vote.
Okay, John, you're a lawyer. You're smarter than I am. I could never pass the bar exam.
You know what this means?
You explain that to me.
You know what it means?
Hey, wait.
Nothing.
I need that for the rest of the show.
You know why? Because of the Electoral College, Doug. They don't even have a football team in the Electoral College. Okay?
Well, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Now, but I don't get it. How can Trump be killing it in every aspect and then
losing to Hillary?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Look, it's all Electoral College, just like the delegates.
But that's not what this polls are based on, are they?
Not at all. It's phone data. Hey, who do you like? So if it were Trump and Hillary, who would you vote for?
I got you.
Okay? So you figure...
So this has nothing to do with where they're at in the primaries.
Not at all. You put a capital D next to your name, and you're going to automatically have 200 Electoral College votes. Okay.
I want to expand on the superdelegate later or next show or something. Because I don't like it. It bugs me.
All right. Are you now riled up?
Real quick, how come Bernie isn't railing on this?
He might be. I'm just not paying attention to him. Are you?
No.
Okay, me neither. All right. You've been listening to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station. We're back after this.
Folks, you're listening to AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station. It's the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. It's a radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette for all you need to know to be in the know.
You know what time it is, Doug?
It's time for...
The harbinger of good news. The harbinger of news. We'll leave the good or bad.
It's the news director, KHTS, none other than Heather Harbin. It's time for Heather's Highlights.
The harbinger. Get it?
Get it. I
See,
get
it.
it.
Was like, I'm trying to work into it.
You're on a roll today.
Well, I was thinking maybe we could get somebody to sponsor it. Sponsored by... We need a sponsor for your segment.
Heather, what do you got for highlights this week for Santa Clarita News?
Well, right before I came on, we actually got an update to a story that happened last night. A body was found on... mile marker 7.98 on Sand Canyon Road last night with a gunshot wound. It was just revealed that a man allegedly confessed to shooting a man and leaving his body at the same place.
Oh, jeez.
The suspect's name is David Aldana. He is 21 years old. He turned himself in to the U.S. Port of Entry Customs Border Protection Office and claimed that he had killed a person in Canyon Country.
Wow.
So he drove all the way down there? Is that at the border?
That's kind of a weird entity to turn yourself into. Yeah, it was in San Ysidro.
Yeah. Wow.
So he must have been driving down to cross the border.
Yeah.
And stopped and
felt really guilty.
Felt really guilty and confessed or knew he was going to get busted or something.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was actually interviewed by homicide detectives, and he agreed to indicate the exact location of where he had discarded the body.
Which was on Sand Canyon.
Yes.
Up when it goes up into the hills.
Yes, his motive is unknown at this time, and the investigation is ongoing. The man has not been, the victim has not been identified yet.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't that guy just tell him who he was if he killed him?
Well, they probably have to notify the next of kin.
Next of kin,
this is like saying, okay, he confessed, the body was found, and we suspect foul play. They have to do stuff like that.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Okay, you can't just.
I'm not a lawyer like you. I don't know this stuff.
Conclusions.
All right.
Yeah, he actually turned himself in Wednesday night, and the body was found on early Thursday morning.
Okay.
So he turned himself in before they found the body.
Yes, but it was just revealed that he did.
And he pointed to them where the body
was.
makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, he was. He's being
Foul play
held.
is suspected.
Yeah, he's being held in lieu of $1 million bail at the Santa.
Now, what? Okay, John, you help me with this one. Why would he have bail? Wouldn't it just be no bail?
If I did criminal law, Doug, we would answer that for you. Gee, if only there was somebody who advertised in the Gazette that knew about bail bonds. We could have them on the show sometime.
Good
Doug.
idea. Okay.
Okay, moving along.
Sorry, Heather. Go ahead.
Turning over to another tragic story that happened on Tuesday morning, actually. Two men were killed in a crash on State Route 126. The crash was a little unique. It spilled lemons all across the freeway.
Oh, yeah.
And shut down the freeway for multiple hours.
Yeah.
The victims were a 21-year-old Samuel Choi of Santa Clarita and 58-year-old Roger Miranda of San Bernardino.
Right.
Was that a head-on collision there? I didn't see how it all set up, but I saw some of the trucks and stuff.
Choi was driving in a Toyota Corolla. He was going. The crash happened at near the intersection of Taquito Canyon Road and the 126.
Okay, so right up this way.
Yeah, but preliminary reports indicate that he was driving his Toyota Corolla, entered the westbound 126 directly into the path of the big rig.
Oh.
The big rig took evasive action by swerving to the left, but was unable to avoid colliding.
Colliding and smacked him, yeah.
However, upon impact, the big rig crossed into the eastbound lanes directly into the path of Miranda, who was driving the vehicle carrying lemons.
And thank goodness that there wasn't a car next to the big rig when he took that evasive action, because he would have taken that car right out.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it could have been any of us. How many times have you driven on the 126 and you're passing a semi-truck?
It used to be bad.
And it
used to be bad. It's now, I think it's a lot safer, but when something happens like that, it's still tragic.
When it's your time,
Yeah, it's still tragic.
Yep.
So the driver of the big rig was transported to Henry Mayo with moderate injuries, and alcohol and drugs do not appear to be a factor at this time. But
in other words, the young man who pulled out onto the 126 either didn't see the semi coming, he just pulled out.
Pulled out and missed a lane and
Tragic.
Yeah, but on a different note, El Nino.
What El Nino?
It's coming soon, right?
Well,
you can get your sandbags. Doug's Backyard is giving away free sandbags.
I did all that work. I put all that sand. I had to put sand in mine. Actually, my wife did, but and for nothing. Go ahead.
Well, the first day of spring is March 20th, and it's fast approaching, and many are wondering if it's still coming. Well, since we were so affected by the 1997 and 98 El Nino, the city has taken various precautions for the predicted El Nino. But so far this winter, Santa Clarita has had some rain, but the overall amount is still below average for this season.
Yep. Said it right here on this station from this microphone. I said El Nino is like Y2K. Don't get all wrapped up about it. We had somebody from the city on, and nobody listens to John. That's all I have to say. Next.
A meteorologist said if we don't get rain by March or early April,
he's fired.
He's fired.
Not quite, but
it's LA. It's 72. It's sunny. Wear shorts or maybe jeans. You're good.
If we don't get rain by that time, there's not a strong chance that we will see it before El Nino turns neutral in the spring.
I am no weather guy. But it's obvious what has happened because they have gotten a fair amount of moisture up north.
Yes.
We have been
It's-
under the impact of high pressure.
It's global warming, Doug.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Next.
Well,
You're not getting me into that one.
Wouldn't you? I mean, if you had your choice of careers, wouldn't weatherman in LA be just about perfect? It's going to be sunny, maybe a little cloudy, and then it'll be sunny later.
yeah, not much variation.
Not much variation. Just like traffic. There's lots of traffic out there. Drive safe. Thanks. Traffic is about where it normally is. It's horrible. Next, move along. So I could do that.
Well, on a happier note, the City Council approved a program that will bring the faces of active military personnel in our valley to the city streets. The Hometown Heroes Military Banner Program will visually recognize them. Will visually recognize Santa Clarita residents currently serving in the military. The program, military personnel and their family will have the opportunity to fabricate a double-sided 3-foot by 6-foot banner, which will include the person's name, rank, branch of military, and photo.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
But the banners would remain up for a minimum of 3 weeks, only 3 times a year on military-related holidays.
Are they putting them on poles or?
Yeah, on street lamps.
They have you've seen them. Simi Valley.
Yeah,
has
Simi
it.
Valley. It's really nice. Yeah.
It makes sense, but
And this is for active military?
Yes, active military.
Okay.
There is another area, I believe it's on Golden Valley Road, that will have banners for those who have fallen in the military.
You mean the soon-to-be renamed Veterans Highway? Which
Yes.
is a good name. I'm happy with Veterans Highway. There's a Veterans Highway.
a portion of Golden Valley Road will be.
Now, Heather,
renamed
does it
that.
indicate what streets these are going to be on?
Yes, it does. There are portions of Soledad Canyon Road, Lyons Avenue, and Valencia Boulevard, and Bouquet Canyon Road will. People have the option of placing the banners there.
So Canyon Country, Newhall, Valencia.
Yeah, kind of spreading it around.
Okay.
But to be honest, somebody's going to be unhappy.
Once the theater gets down, it should just be all downtown Newhall.
John, we're not going there.
Yeah, but these banners do come with a cost. To make this banner, it will be about $417.
A piece?
Yes, plus tax per banner for the first year.
What about installation?
No, that's all included.
It's included. Now, the families have to.
Yeah. The family.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, the banners will be funded by each requesting individual. So
I'm gonna wow.
All right. Okay. We're
what-
out of time, unfortunately, but
Oh,
we're
I'm
not
sorry.
letting this one go.
Yeah, that one. Wow.
I wonder what the material has to be.
Vinyl, I'm sure.
They did bring an example at the last city
Yeah.
council meeting. It's a very, very good material.
So if a family doesn't have the money, then
it would.
their loved one is not recognized.
Bob Keller did actually say that if families would like to have their, unfortunately, would not be able to afford it, that they would be able to contact him for help.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I'm sure there'll be some people.
All right, Heather Harbin, everybody.
Thank
the
you
news
very
director at KHTS. Easy for me to say on Heather's
Harbinger-
highlights.
the harbinger of news. I like that.
All right.
It's so much better than Heather's highlights.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Thank you, Heather.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. All right.
All right, everybody.
So, Doug, she did bring up something very interesting with Mayor Keller and offering to help out in the event that there's a family that can't afford election ploy. Dun dun dun.
Ooh.
Can we get to the bottom of this?
Speaking of elections,
Speaking of elections,
we have the Gazette.
that was a professional segue, by the way, Doug. That was very impressive.
Yeah, very. Anyway, we have our reporter, Mr. Lee Barnathan, on the phone. Lee, are you there? Barnathan, I'm sorry. Lee, are you there?
I guess he's not. Lee. All right. Well, anyway, what was Lee going to talk about?
Lee was going to talk about
I read an article
okay.
in the Gazette.
And what was the headline of the article he's going to talk
A
about?
Midwestern newsman in the King. No, wait a minute. No. That was wrong one. That was interesting, but there's a better one. The city council race, as you are aware, two friends of the show are running. Mm-hmm. Councilman Tim Van Boysen is up for re-election.
Right.
That's always interesting. Community activist and chairman of board of regents of, I don't know, the Canyon Country Advisory Council, Alan Ferdman, is also admitted he's going to run. I don't know whether anybody else has gotten into the race as of yet and officially filed the paperwork, other than, yes, you guessed it, Mayor Bob Keller is up for re-election. So it's going to be,
Actually, though, I guess it's a moot point, but I think that Tim Ben hasn't filed his papers, but I'm sure he's going to.
I'm sure he's going to. I think that's probably. I think the only person who has filed at this point in time is probably Alan, if it's even up for filing. But I think it's announced. I think Tim Ben has already announced he's gonna do it. I'm pretty sure that Alan's gonna do it, and I'm pretty sure that Bob Keller's gonna do it. So you've got 3 legit candidates,
right?
And
for
then,
2 spots,
for 2
so our
spots,
listeners
yeah.
know.
And it's interesting because there was the California Voters Act lawsuit that was going to require cumulative voting.
Right.
Okay, so you would get 5 votes, or 3 votes, however many seats are up. So it's like 2 votes. And you could put all your votes in one basket, or all your votes, or split them, or it wasn't even worked out how it was going to work this time. And they were working on that part.
And
the Secretary of State came in and said, time out, guys. None of our equipment is certified for cumulative voting. So while you are forced to, as a result of this lawsuit, do cumulative voting, we can't do it. We can't. And oh, by the way, while we could get some stuff, we can't certify the stuff in order to get it ready for cumulative voting. So basically, you're just done with this whole cumulative voting thing for this cycle. Now, I don't understand, because this cycle is November. Okay?
Right.
Which brings a couple of interesting points. What do you think is going to happen when you've got everybody's going to be voting for president, everybody's going to be voting for senator, everybody's going to have Congress stuff coming up? Okay, everybody's going to have state assembly and all that stuff.
Now, so what you're saying, it's probably going to be a record turnout.
It's going to be a big turnout, and then who cares about the city council and the school board stuff? I mean, it changes the way you have to campaign.
Yes, absolutely.
And you've got to get the most bang for your buck. More people. Are we going to get inundated? Are they going to get lost? And then just falls back to fan base.
Well, yeah. Well, what it tells me is the city council election is going to be really name recognition,
which is huge.
Right. If a Cameron Smythe were to run, is his name still out there being recognized?
Well, I mean,
because it's been a lot of years.
Smythe Parkway. I mean, it's more as his dad's name,
right? More
than anything else. But the interesting part is then you've got the 2 incumbents. So is it Bob Keller and Tim Ben? Well, those are diametrically opposed people, I think. Maybe I'm breaking news on the Gazette Radio Hour. Tim Ben and Bob Keller don't always agree. Film at 11.
Right.
But it just seems to me that name recognition is going to be very important.
Right.
And also, when it says, and I'm guilty of this too. How many times have you gone to a voting booth? Hopefully everybody votes all the time. But you go in there and you see you're voting for judges, and you haven't done your homework, and you're not going to vote for the judge. You'll vote for the sitting judge.
Yeah.
Okay, it's human nature. I'm not saying it's good or bad or indifferent. Or you'll see somebody, businessman, teacher, mayor. Who's going to get your vote?
Yeah.
You figure, I haven't paid attention to this. I'm going to vote for the guy who's already voted, or has already doing the job.
Let me ask you if you agree with this. The prevailing opinion on the last city council's election that the reason Lorraine West and Marsha McLean won going away was because of name recognition.
Oh, I think you're right. I think there's no question.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen this time. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't make any clearer to me why Dante Acosta won. I mean, Dante's another friend of the show.
Sure.
Doesn't return your reporter's phone calls. I'm calling you out, Dante. You heard it right here.
I think they did meet up finally. So.
Oh, okay. Never mind, Dante.
But it was
a
social type thing. I don't think.
Oh, in that case, Dante, it's back on. We double dog dare you to call back Doug's reporters. Okay. No, but that's the thing. It's like, these city council guys come in and they think they are going to be more important than they are.
Okay, I think we have Lee Barnathan on the phone. Lee, are you with us now?
Yeah, it only took about 5 or 6 tries.
Hey, well,
sorry, the technical issues. Anyway,
so I read your article in the Gazette, and people can pick up the Gazette where, Doug? See what I did there? See?
Well, over 400 locations throughout Santa Clarita.
You can't swing a dead cat without picking up a Gazette.
That's right.
Okay.
And you can have it home delivered if you'd like to.
How do you get home delivery of the Gazette, Doug?
Call 298-5333, 298-5333.
Oh, but it sounds so expensive.
It's $10 for 6 months or $19 for the year.
Whoa, that's a discount?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Because that radio hour discount.
And let's see, you also have to be a live person, isn't that right?
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to what Lee wrote for us. So, Lee, what's your take on the whole thing? What was your takeaway from writing about if Cameron was going to come in or not?
My opinion is that he's going to run. I mean, it's true. He hasn't said that he's going to, but you listen to his tone of voice. You listen to the words that he's choosing. He's choosing them very carefully. You listen to how the mayor has asked for him to run again, and it all adds up. Now, of course, I could be wrong.
Lee, let me ask, can I interrupt? Were you able to verify that the mayor did ask him to run?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the mayor told me that, and he said, so I get my notes out and try to get you a direct quote. He said something along the lines of that he always wants, good men to run, and he enjoyed working with Cameron the last time they were on the council together.
Right.
Wow.
So what was your takeaway on the other two candidates, or actually three?
Wait a minute. Let's go back to that for a second.
Okay,
let that one sink in. Here's Mayor Keller, okay, actually saying to somebody, "We'd like you to run because I enjoyed working with you last time."
Okay, now wait a minute. That's not That's not correct. That is not correct.
Okay.
He told me. He did not tell Cameron Smythe this. He said to me, I worked with him for 6 years. I consider him an outstanding councilman.
Okay, so Bob Keller, I thought you said that Bob Keller asked Cameron to run, but not.
He did. In his kickoff, Keller's kickoff, he mentioned Cameron Smythe by name. And Cameron Smythe told me that several people, including the mayor, have asked him to run, and he's considering it.
That just sounds a little scummy to me.
Why
hey, come on board. I was able to manipulate you for 6 years and work with you, and you did what I wanted you to do. Come back, because obviously I got people who aren't doing what I want them to do. That's one way to take it.
It's certainly one way to take it. It's not the way I'm taking it, but it certainly is a way it could be taken.
I think there's deeper stuff there.
Did Tim
Did you used to work for Fox News?
No, but I know some
Lee, don't go there. Don't go there, Lee. Lee, how did...
I got about Tim Ben. Go ahead.
Did Tim Ben Boydston make a comment to you regarding Cameron coming into the race?
He said that he didn't want to comment because it hasn't happened yet, and he thinks that if you comment, he said he could gain nothing from commenting. If you comment and you're right, then you look like a genius prognosticator, and if you comment and he ends up not running and it's wrong, then you look like an idiot. So that's my word. He actually said, "You don't look very smart."
I can see that. I mean,
so he didn't. He wouldn't. He didn't. He offered. He didn't talk. Dante Acosta didn't talk.
How about Alan Ferdman, the other gentleman that's already indicated his race? He's entering the race.
Alan thinks that Cameron Smythe's name recognition will mean nothing. That he's been out of local politics for 10 years, which is true, and that people don't remember him. He also said that if Cameron enters the race, he's not the least bit afraid.
Yeah.
And he might have to change the way he campaigns, but he didn't get specific. What's interesting is that another person who supports Alan Ferdman, a guy named Steve Petzold, I think he's a real estate guy in Florida.
We have him on the show.
He's terrified. He's terrified of Cameron Smythe joining the race.
Why is that?
He thinks that will kill Ferdman's chances and could severely hurt Boydston's chances.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
Well, I mean, it's just a matter of numbers. No matter what, if he comes in and you have another guy in with 4 people running for 2 spots, it's going to hurt somebody, right?
You would think.
It does. But and both incumbents pointed out to me that they could be affected.
Really?
That it is possible. I don't know how likely, but it's possible that Smythe could take votes away from Keller, and Ferdman could take votes away from Boydston, and vice versa.
Oh wow! What do you think about my theory? It's my theory. Wow. There's going to be a bigger voter turnout because of the November election. That's going to change things a little bit.
Yeah, and Lee alluded to that in the article, right, Lee?
Yes, it is absolutely going to be true. You're going to have as large a turnout as you've ever had for the city council because people are going to be going to the polls to vote for just about everything. You've got a president, you've got a senator, a new president, a new senator. You've got to vote for your congressman. You're going to be voting for a new county board of supervisors because Antonovich is being turned out.
Right.
And you've got state senate, state assembly race. So you've got everything. And you've got ballot propositions. So the question is, they're going to go to the polls, but are they going to cast a vote for city council, or are they going to leave it blank?
Whoa.
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that.
Well, John, it was like you were alluding to when you said when you go to vote and you see all those judges, did a lot of people just leave those blank?
Nah, they vote for the name, and they vote for the sitting judge wins like 98% of the time. I imagine that's what's going to happen, with the exception of Tim Ben. It's going to be interesting to me because I think while he can run a decent campaign and he's got some stuff to stand on, so to speak,
right.
I think that Bob Keller is Bob Keller. Everybody knows Bob Keller. Bob Keller, good, bad, or indifferent. I think he's got some weaknesses. You can pound him on some things. I get that. But sitting mayor, it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sitting president, first term, second term, sitting president, unless you really mess things up.
Right.
Jimmy Carter. You're not gonna have those problems. But I think with somebody like Cameron Smythe entering, that knocks a lot of votes away from a name recognition standpoint from Tim Ben, and that's really what we're just looking at right now. We're not going to get into issues yet.
Right.
Because it's just name recognition.
All right, everybody, please pick up a copy of the Gazette where you can read more that Lee wrote. Headline is Smythe considers run for council. Lee Barnathan, we appreciate you coming on. We want to have you on more and keep up the good writing for the Gazette.
I will continue to as long as you pay me.
Oh, there could be a catch. No, I'm kidding.
As long as you don't cash the checks right away, we're pretty good.
Thanks, Lee.
All right, Lee, thanks very much. All right, you're listening to Gazette Radio with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS Center, Clarita's hometown station. We are back after this.